Hello, welcome back to Wario Land 3, this is Wario Enchanted, and today we're going to start swimming against the grain. Now that we can finally do that, which is going to prove to be one of our most useful abilities. So of course they give it right at the end of the game. Or close to the end anyway. Careful of those little zappy things though, they will kick you out the water. I think. Haven't been hit by them yet, but I'm assuming that's what they'll do. They'll stun you, you'll go into stun Wario, and boing out the water. Something's rather fun. I've been working on a bit of a scene in Blender with the little donut guy from this game, and I'm kind of like basing the scene on the game's world map in general, so I'm quite proud of that. I'll include a picture of that now. I hope you enjoyed it. It's currently still obviously unfinished. There's a lot I need to fix and improve on it, but that's kind of the current state of it. And it's something I'm hoping to do a lot more of in the future. That's part of why the Patreon's kind of there to help with me finding the time to actually practice 3D modeling. Because I'd like to start being able to do little animations based on the games I'm playing, because that could be quite fun. Of course, the most difficult part of that is always going to be the actual modeling of the things. Because after that, it's just about moving them correctly, but we'll sort of bring that up. Because I'm hoping to do little animations of like Jimmy pulsating mass, but I'd still need to actually model the characters for that, but I've got some interesting ideas in mind for that one. But for now, this character I've been working on for this particular project is just like a basic one, because it's just a Wario character. It's a very simple character, so it's easy to model, and it's been kind of fun to build the world around him. Now these guys are interesting, because unlike some of the more annoying enemies, these guys don't come back. So as you're clearing this area, it basically is making the whole thing a lot easier for yourself, unless you get carried completely out of the room with the current, which will be annoying. Because of course leaving the room does respawn them. But for now, while we're still in here with them though, they can't respawn, which is nice. We're just clearing a path basically. Yeah, Wario has very impressive upper body strength given his girth. It should be a lot harder to carry himself. But luckily there's this little stop-off point here, so avoid just getting all the way back to the beginning if we fail. And here, of course, we just want to make sure that the key's not in the water or anything annoying like that. Because sometimes the game does that. It puts the key in a really weird place, or like in a place that's kind of obvious, but then the harder path only gets to the chest. So for all I knew, this upper path could have only been going to the chest. Yeah, that guy's in a really annoying position. So we actually have to use this middle vine for this guy. Because we can't get high enough to actually hit him from above. But we can do this. Once we get to the middle. We can hit him from below. Now he's gone. Yeah, I've been a bit kind of like unproductive when it comes to videos this weekend, partially because I've been focusing so much on the Blender stuff, but also because I've started playing Bloodborne, and that kind of sucks a lot of time up because of how stressful it is to play and how, well, difficult the game is overall. That's been quite fun though to finally get around to playing that. My brother kind of lent it to me because I never got around to it. And at least I got him off the vine before I... That was annoying, I was right at the end there, and I had the key, but oh well. Because I can put the key in this level basically right next to the chest, that's kind of amusing. Yeah, we have to make sure we have enough room to actually jump. That's kind of a key thing with this kind of game, is make sure you have enough headroom to actually make jumps. Because unlike some games where you can just kind of drop off and reach the other thing, this level isn't laid out that way, so you can't really do that. Like there, I barely had enough height to make it. No, this is cheeky, it's not just the... When I said the keys right next to the chest, I actually lied. So the chest is actually right here. But this current is way faster. We can't get through this current. We can try, we can do pretty well, but we can't actually reach the chest. So you may be able to guess what's coming up here. And it's one of the more unique ones as well. Yep, it's a boss. And he immediately got me. Now this boss is quite an interesting one. It's got quite a tricksy little gimmick, which is based on that little mosquito just above him. You see, unlike every other boss in the game so far, you don't actually hit this guy, well, I guess almost every boss, you don't actually hit this guy directly. You actually ride on the mosquito, and then have him eat those things from these little weird flying, I guess, earwigs? And of course, once he eats 3 of these pieces of cheese, I guess, then, or maybe some kind of a bulb from like a plant, but it's kind of hard to tell. It looks like they were slightly off cheese. But it's actually a reasonably easy fight when you realise it's just this. You just have to get him to eat the 3 objects. And then he's kind enough to actually block the current for us. So we can't get there, but we can use our little dragonfly friend. I call him Mosquito, is a dragonfly. But when we get on him anyway, now he's blocking the current. Which means it's not flowing anymore. Which means we can get to the chest now. I quite like that boss, it's quite a clever one, because most bosses you just have to kill, and then they just let you get to the chest via some random thing, but I quite like this one's got a bit more explanation to it. It's not just like, oh, ride the boss's weapon to the end of the level. It's that the boss actually like opens up the route to the end of the level by blocking the current. I thought that was quite interesting. And we get a garden gnome or cowboy. Looks kind of like the guy from Steven Universe. Like little collectible guys. But what this guy, little wizard guy, does is he builds the fence. I mean, he looks like a wizard, don't know why he's a carpenter, but fine. A carpenter? I'll guess metallurgist, or... Like, not even that's right. Someone who works with metals to turn them into things. A smith. My brain completely just went wonky there. He's a smith. Possibly a steelsmith, given the colour of the fence. Or maybe even it's a mason. Maybe it's a stone fence, because it also matches these little tiles here. So it could be a mason. But I've got pretty good at lighting those torches, because you have to do it every time we come here. Yeah, here I kind of forget the puzzle. You have to get this thing over way here. But again, I kind of temporarily... It's been a while since I've done this puzzle, because you don't really come to the Tower of Awakening Tower of Revival very often. But here I can't remember it. Of course you have to go all the way around now, because I'm an idiot, and I've despawned it. Well, you know, this track's counterpoint with the, it's kind of hard to tell what the instrument's supposed to be, because something quite interesting with Wario, with these kind of like games, is these synthesized instruments are often quite sort of hard to place, because they don't really sound like any instruments that really exist. I guess the closest I can come up with for this particular track, for that little background thing, is maybe an automaton. But I don't think those existed at the time this game came out, because it was a relatively recent little meme gimmick. Weapon gimmick. Meme instruments, that was what I was looking for there. But here's a tricky part, because you have to get around this fence while avoiding these guys. But these guys aren't nearly as apple happy as the donut chefs are at donuts. But of course we now know where the chest is. But we need to work out where the actual key is. So let's just go in the other direction, shall we, and see what we come up with. But yeah, we can't kill these guys, but they also... don't really... And we have another snake door. That's going to be interesting. Guess we're not done with that mechanic yet. But here I accidentally find the key. We have to get fed. But the problem with these guys is, as I mentioned, they are not nearly as apple happy as the donut guys are with their donuts. They kind of like to hide, and it takes a while to actually coax this idiot to throw his apple at me. It's so annoying. The little apple lizard thing is driving me mental right now. Thank you. Luckily I didn't get zapped because that might have knocked me out of Fat Wario, which would have been very annoying. But now we have the key. So it's time to actually get back up. And find our way to that chest. It's kind of interesting as well, I actually checked how many treasures we actually have around this point. We have about 60 out of the 100, so we're about 2/3 of the way to having all the treasures. They find a mysterious parchment. A map of the volcano showing a new path. Well, you can actually see that the map does include the levels in the east area. It's not just a random sketch of the volcano. You can see like the swamp on the west, that sort of thing. I guess south, because we're in the east right now, so the swamp's to the south of this area. Left doesn't mean west. I actually had to kind of come back here again because I kind of missed what the puzzle was when I first played it. Not of this section. This section is quite obvious, just avoiding these little guys. Who are annoying, but yeah, there we go. You have to throw this through these. That part's quite simple. But there's a part later on where I kind of like, in the first time through, I'd kind of forgotten the interaction and had to kind of be reminded of it, and that's interesting. I like how, even though we're quite far into the game, and we've only got like one music box to find, we still have a lot of interesting little things that we don't quite know how to interact with yet, like that little thing. And then there's this room, where we can't do anything here yet, there's like nothing here. Yeah, these guys are annoying because of the fact that they respawn when they can leave the screen, because it means it's very easy to end up breaking that and having to deal with the other one again. Such an annoying section that they level this. I hate these little guys. Partially because of that. These guys, I hate them. Well, I hate them when I screw up and allow them to do this multiple times in a row. They're very annoying. And then that happens, and now it's even further back. Whoops. Yeah, I showed quite a bit of competence earlier with the little fence part, and now I'm just screwing everything up. Would you stop that? Little jellyfish. Maybe they're trying to act like what they look like. They're trying to act like Metroid, so they're turning us into a ball like Samus. I don't know. Would you stop that? There we go. But the fire is what's important here. Can't get past these frogs. We can make them go up, but they have nothing to land on, so we can't get actually past the frogs. This is the point I got a little bit stuck, because this was the interaction I couldn't remember. But I've remembered it in my return, though. About here is where I recall it, because I really can't get back up easily. There's... oh wait, the fire. That's what's important here. They died to the fire. But it's not this one we need to kill. So let's go further west, shall we? I guess south? because of where the crater is. So I guess technically we're heading south and north and going left and right here. That's what's kind of interesting with these kind of games and this kind of map is realizing the cardinal directions in relation to where you are. Like, it's not obvious that right now we're actually going north and south to navigate this area, but we are. Because of course we're in the east wall of the volcano right now, we're facing west. By facing, of course, I mean the wall we're looking at the back, that's the west wall, that back wall. That's what's kind of interesting about trying to kind of like model these sort of things in 3D as well, is kind of like having to work out those kind of directions. Like, part of that image that I was sort of like had to work out was noticing what parts, what other levels you could see from the peaceful village for the volcano. Because I'm going to have like the river on the east of the volcano and the forest where we started, out of the woods on the west. Well, I guess technically that, because that's again, that's the west sections up with, I think, north and south? It's kind of hard to remember sometimes which direction's which. But now we have this glove, so we can lift these really heavy enemies. So we'll let this play out. And I'll see you next time, as we finally are able to bully the bullies and pick these really big heavy enemies up in all these little areas. So much we can do. So I'll see you next time as we do it. Goodbye. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and also join my Patreon. Thank you for James Rossi for already doing so at the Bio Enchanted Legs tier.